Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Before I call the meeting to order, I'm going to invite Pastor Neil Rowe up from Waterhouse Church. Pastor, we thank you for being here, and I'd ask that you lead us in our invocation, sir.
It's always an honor. I want to read out of Psalm 133. Oh, how wonderful and pleasant it is when brothers live together in harmony. For harmony is as precious as the anointing oil that was poured over Aaron's head, that ran down his beard and onto the border of his robe. Harmony is as refreshing as the dew from Mount Hermon, the falls of the mountains of Zion, and the Lord has pronounced his blessing, even life everlasting. Father, we thank you for unity in this body today. Lord, we ask that you would command a blessing as this council considers the city's needs. And Lord, we pray protection over those who serve this city, over those first responders, over those who serve in the military, over those who even serve in the civil duties of this wonderful city that I call home. We thank you, Father, for it, and we ask for wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right. Thank you for being here, Pastor. See, it is 6:01 p.m. I'm going to call the meeting to order and announce we do have a quorum present. All members are in attendance. We appreciate you being here, and thank you for your service. Item 3 on the agenda is the pledges of allegiance to the United States and Texas flags. Be led this evening by Councilmember Luke Williams. Thank you for that, Councilman Williams. Item 4 on the agenda is items of community interest. Aaron Spicer, welcome.
Mayor and Council, the forecast for tonight's items of community interest calls for road work, restaurant service, a few new openings, and a 100% chance of something special happening around Weatherford. Here's what you need to know. The 41st annual Parker County Peach Festival took over downtown on Saturday and welcomed thousands of visitors, proving once again that Parker County peaches are kind of a big peel. A huge thank you to the Weatherford Chamber of Commerce for another fantastic festival and for bringing our famous peaches to the masses. A lot of work happens behind the scenes to help major community events like that run smoothly. We had folks from Parks, Sanitation, Police, Fire, Dispatch, IT, Public Works, all on site supporting the event operations with public safety, cleanup, traffic, and many other details needed throughout the day. We appreciate all the volunteers who worked in the heat and behind the scenes to welcome thousands of visitors to Weatherford. Weatherford firefighter Brown and Captain Marciniak recently competed with the Chisholm Trail Rescue High-Angle Technical Rope Rescue Team in Belgium. The team finished 5th out of 23 teams from around the world, proving that our firefighters know the ropes, even overseas. And the new Weatherford Point Shopping Center across from Costco is getting closer to opening its doors. Sprouts Farmers Market will anchor the development and is scheduled to open July 31st, with additional stores expected to follow shortly after. And TxDOT roadwork continues along Main Street through the month of August. From about Brahms to the courthouse, crews are repairing the curbs, milling the roadway, and placing new asphalt. And from I-20 to Brahms, they're doing a diamond grinding to smooth the existing concrete. Just a reminder, Main Street is a TxDOT project, so the city is not overseeing it. We're just navigating the cones along with the rest of you. And Weatherford police officers will trade patrol duties for table service during Tip a Cop on Thursday, July 23rd from 5 to 9 p.m. at Texas Roadhouse in Weatherford. Stop by for dinner, say hello to our officers, and leave a donation benefiting the Special Olympics Texas. And then the Weatherford Chamber of Commerce young business leaders are working to collect 400 new backpacks for the district's school supply closet. Backpacks of all sizes are needed from pre-K through 12th grade. Donations can be dropped off at participating businesses throughout Weatherford or purchased through the organization's Amazon wish list, and the deadline is the end of the month. But apparently, we have a friendly competition brewing between Jag Metals and Buffalo Equipment Rental, where Mayor Pro Tem Zach Smith is raising the stakes by giving donors a free t-shirt with their donation. Nothing motivates a community more like bragging rights and free merch. And if you're looking for a few more ways to cool off around town, Chill with Weatherford PD returns to Cherry Park on July 15th at 4 p.m. Stop by for free Funky Monkey shaved ice, some fun, and a chance to hang out with Weatherford's finest without having to explain why you were speeding. And then the Weatherford Public Library is wrapping up summer reading with the final party July 29th at 10:30 a.m. with a bunch of water slides. For more details on these and all upcoming events, visit experienceweatherford.com.
All righty, Aaron, thank you for that. Mr. Top, do you have any items of community interest?
No, sir.
City Council?
Yeah, I just want to say what a great 2 weeks in this community, and just express, I know our council all feels the same way, the thanks to all those involved in making Spark in the Park happen. I thought it was a huge success, and our Parks Department just tirelessly works to do that, and so many others throughout the city, so grateful for that. And then, turn around again just a week later or so with the Peach Festival, and a lot of those same folks are working extra to make that happen. Of course, our chamber did a wonderful job, as they always do. What an economic driver for this community to have that event in our beautiful downtown that's gone through a lot of work lately that we're all very proud of. But we're just thankful for our staff and the chamber and all those involved in those two events. I know it is an incredibly busy time. Many of them would like to be spending time with their families on the 4th of July, but they're protecting us and making sure the event goes off flawlessly, and both events did. And so just very thankful, very proud of those that were involved in that. And then just incredibly thankful for our country that we got to celebrate 250 years of the United States of America. I mean, what a blessing to live here in this country, and what a blessing to live in this community and to be a part of that. So it was just, as a council member, as a citizen, I was just incredibly thankful and proud over the last couple of weeks of all that's gone into making those things happen. So let me express my thanks to all those involved in that.
Well said, Mr. Tiskus. Appreciate that. Any other thoughts, comments?
Yeah, Mayor, I was thinking through, I know Spark in the Park, I believe we had a little over 10,000 individuals there. I don't know that number specifically, but I do know
Just
it was over.
on site, that doesn't count the ones.
Correct,
all
yeah.
around.
Verified with the chamber. I'm still waiting on a set number, but a little over 30,000 for Peach Festival this past week. And that doesn't happen without community, so it's a great deal.
And just to go back over here to our Mayor Pro Tem, another example, and they keep stacking up of they live here, they give here. And every time you look up, sir, you and your family and your business are trying to help support causes, and appreciate that. So you talk the talk, but you walk the walk, and it's rare these days, so thank you. And I'm going to come get one of those T-shirts too. All right, anything else, council? But I agree with you, Matt. I know how you peel about these events. They're so special. So, all right, let's shift on down, council, to item 5 on the agenda, presentations and proclamations. 5A is a presentation of awards by the Department of War Employer Support for the Guard and Reserve to the City of Weatherford. Major Chad Marbutt, to the podium, please.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. So I am proud to introduce the next item, the Employer Support for the Guard and Reserve. They're a Department of War extension that's here tonight to present some awards. So in just a minute, I'll introduce Mr. Rick Noriega, the state chair, Mrs. Yvette McClendon. She is the North Region Director and the nominating chair for the committee, the nominating committee. But also with us, if she's online, in fitting Guard Reserve fashion, so Staff Sergeant Sarah Allen. She's with the 77th Aerial Port Squadron. They fall under the 507th Air Refueling Wing there at Tinker Air Force Base. So Sarah is a finance specialist in our fire department. She's one of our 6 Guard Reserve members, and so she just happens to be on duty this week. So wanted to have her join us. She's been a huge part of what you're about to see be awarded. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Rick Noriega, the state chair.
Thank you, Chad. Mayor and council members, Rick Noriega, State Chair of Employee Support of the Guard and Reserve, Major General retired. I just want to tell you what a pleasure it's been since I came here to visit Parker County and Weatherford. Drove up from Houston today and got to learn how to negotiate that roundabout here by the courthouse, and just the you can just feel, council members, you were describing the community, the heartbeat of the community, and so it gives me great pride to be here representing the 150 men and women that are volunteers. Some of our team members are here from the northern region. Mike Robbie, who is one of our area chairs, Sherilyn Hayliger, I may mispronounce her name. She does our military outreach and employer outreach, and Kathleen Dial, who's one of our ombudsman persons, and of course, Wyvette McClendon, you'll meet in just a moment. I just want to share with you what we're doing today real quick. Hopefully you can see this. Now, the reason that your mayor and the council and the city is receiving these awards is because of Chad and this fine air woman right here. They say we appreciate where we work, and we want to lift up our employers because they support us when we're in uniform and when we're on the job, proudly working for the great city of Weatherford, Texas. And so today we're going to be presenting, Wyvette and I will be presenting the Pro Patria Award. It is one of the highest awards that you can receive. And again, this is an incremental type of process in receipt of these awards. And so we'll get to that in a moment. Next slide, please. Real quick, mission, Department of War Office, we develop, promote, and support the environment so that, and outreach so that service members, when they are deployed, whether they're in the Guard or Reserves, that relationship with their employer, they come back and they don't lose their place in line in terms of their employment, and their families are supported and so forth on the way back. And so we act as that kind of go-between, both for the purposes of ombudsman purposes, if there are ever any issues, also for the purposes of military outreach, employer outreach, and informing what the USERRA law is and so forth. And all of our team are volunteers across the state of Texas and enjoy being able to serve as in that role for our country. Next slide, please. Again, I won't read the slides to you, but we put in a lot of hours to make sure that folks understand why this is important. I was sharing with the mayor, we had our conversation. Texas is probably the second, we kind of go 1 and 2 with California of the number of men and women that are deployed every year. We have a great number of training centers here and of bases and folks that are in uniform. And so by virtue of, I was sharing with the mayor as well and with Chad, because of the talent that we have here, whether they're first responders, whether they're in IT, whether they're in AI, whether they're in the medical field, and a whole host of other skill sets, we have a lot of folks in this state that are dual-hatted. They want to work in civilian life, but they also want to be, they want to serve in uniform as well. So this particular scenario is not going to decline anytime soon. We will continue to see, as part of the total force, folks from the state of Texas and communities all across the state be called for a variety of missions, whether it's on the border or wherever. And oftentimes some of them serve in uniform, and they're doing, this young lady here may be able to share with you, or she can't, particular missions that they're doing real time, but they're able to do them here stateside, and or required training for their military progression as well. So we're here today to honor you, Mayor, and the leadership of this city. And I can't say enough for your city manager, Mr. Hotop, that has just been...
Neither can we. We could sit here all day and talk about him and not get all the good things covered.
Working with him and our team has been a real honor and a pleasure. And we want to give a shout out to your city manager for the great job that he does. But as I was sharing with you, Mayor, the critical piece of this is oftentimes we think about people that serve in uniform as or their immediate spouse or family members, that they're serving our country. But the reality is that we're all serving our country. And as I shared with you, Mayor, that support system isn't just the family members. It's the folks they go to church with. It's the folks that they work with. It's their neighbors. It's all of us. We're all part of this tapestry of this wonderful nation that we celebrated 250 years. And the city of Weatherford has exhibited where you stand in terms of that piece of the puzzle, of that mosaic of this beautiful nation. And that's why we're going to honor you and the leadership of the city council today. And it's because these soldiers, these men and women that are here, said, we work for the best employer in the state of Texas. And that's why we're here to celebrate.
Thank you.
Wybet?
Thank you, Mr. Noriega, and I'm not used to greeting you guys, so if I do this wrong, please forgive me, but I believe it's Mayor and Honorable Council, all of you,
No, there's no
all of you
reason
honorable
no reason for the
individuals.
formality, yeah.
My name is Wybet McClendon. I am the North Region Director of ESGR. I am coming upon serving this wonderful organization 15 years. And if that tells you anything, being a volunteer, I wouldn't still be here if I didn't love what I do. This is one of my highlights, is getting to come and do what I do. It is so rewarding to get to come and show honor where it is due. And so just briefly, I want to give you a quick rundown of these awards so that you understand the importance of them and you understand the prestigiousness of getting these awards here at the city of Weatherford, and very, very much deserved. The first level that we're going to be presenting tonight is called a Patriotic Employer Award. That's our baseline award. There is basically no criteria that has to be met to obtain that. The service member decides they want to honor their frontline supervisor. They get on the website, put in for that award, and it comes. And then we get it, and we get the honor of coming out and making that presentation to that individual. Once that nomination is in, then it becomes my team's responsibility to look at that award, how it was written, and the data that's on there. We look for certain key points, and we can tell automatically, wow, this company deserves more, and therefore it's called the Above and Beyond. If any of you are aware of OSHA, anybody know about OSHA? You got some baseline requirements that you have to meet or else. Think of it in terms of the USERRA law along the same lines. Anything you do, you guys are not just doing what you have to do to get by, to fulfill the law. You've gone beyond that call of duty because you understand and you value these employers, these employees that you've brought on that serve our country. And so the next level award that we have the honor of choosing for you is called the Above and Beyond. It does go to the entire city of Weatherford as a whole. And then the next level up is our state level award, which is being presented here tonight, called the Pro Patria. Interesting how this one is obtained because we actually kind of do a little backtracking. And so the one above that is the Department of War, Secretary of War Freedom Award. That is the national level coming from Washington, D.C., ESGR, and that is the highest level award that you can get. It's a once in a lifetime. They only give out 15 nationwide. Now here's where it gets awesome for you guys. Between Major Marbut and Staff Sergeant Sarah Allen, they both put in nominations for you guys for the Freedom Award. We can only submit one. So we combined the two and pulled data from one to increase the power of it, make it more of an impactful thing. And so my committee, I'm also the chair of the Texas Committee Freedom Award Review Board. We have to score every single nomination that comes into our Texas database. And with that, we are only allowed to choose 3 contenders, and it's broken down into 3 categories. Our large companies that are 500 or more employees, our small companies that we would consider mom and pop shops, or public sector. You guys are public sector. So I'm excited to tell you, if you could wrap your head around how powerful that is, that you guys were chosen as the public sector Texas finalist, and your nomination is sitting in DC right now waiting. And by now, we normally would know who the winners are, but there's other things going on, so we've been delayed, and we're on the edge of our seat.
We're pretty confident who won it.
Well, I'm confident.
Yeah, we're pretty
I'm confident because Texas is the leader in bringing home Freedom Awards. I've been part of this committee now for the Freedom Award Review Board for going on 9 years. And out of that 9 years, only 1 year did we not get an award, and I found out why. They were tired of Texas winning, and they wanted to give the poor little other states a chance to win. Okay, so aside from that, we've always brought home at least one of the 15. There have been a couple of years we brought home 2, but can I tell you, last year we made history, and all 3 of our contenders brought home Freedom Awards. So I'm extremely confident. We know what we're looking for, and we know who deserves these awards, and we know how to write those summaries up to get them up there and get attention. So again, our fingers are crossed for you guys. With that being said, we backtrack and we go into that database, and those individuals, we choose out of that database people, companies that we want to give the Pro Patria Award to. And so even though across the United States, every state is allowed 3 per state. But as Mr. Noriega pointed out, Texas and California, because we're large both geographically speaking and military presence, we're allowed to push the envelope. Anything above 3 has to be approved at headquarters. And for the past several years, we've given out 5 Pro Patria Awards across the state. So again, understand the value of this award you're about to get. You're 1 in 5 in the entire state of Texas to get this award. And we could not be more proud to be here to present this to you and have you display it here proudly, knowing that you guys have gone above and beyond the call of duty. And so with that, we're going to move into our actual presentation. And if it's okay if I slip around, I think I've got a loud enough voice to be heard.
Yes, ma'am, and I believe we've got a handheld microphone too to assist.
And I did just want to mention too, Mayor and council members, you've got out of your 400 employees or so about 10%, which is about normal in terms of the number of those that have served previously or veterans. And then you've got a handful of folks that are still dual-hatted, both as reservists or guards persons. Your police chief was sharing with me right now about a third of his force are also prior service members in your police department, fire department. And so it's very, very common for public entities and cities like yourself. That's usually kind of the template. So, you know, I salute each and every one of you for what you do for our men and women in uniform. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay right there.
Okay.
Okay. Our very first Patriotic Employer Award is going to be presented to Mr. James Hotop. And this one comes from Major Chad Marbutt, having nominated him to receive this award, and I'm going to let you present it. You keep that and stand right over there. This next one, I'm super excited about because I love the element of surprise. And that's why we have got this beautiful lady on the screen over here, Staff Sergeant Sarah Allen. I have so enjoyed conversating with her on the phone multiple times in making this happen. But she has nominated her boss, Chief Jonathan Peacock, to receive this award. So we'd like to ask him to come and receive the award. And if I could give a quick summary. Thank you, sir. The reason, we're not going to go into the deepest of details because they're tear-jerking. They'll get to your heartstrings. But just understand the reason why these individuals nominated their supervisors is because they truly showed they cared. They went beyond the call of duty, and when we're talking about checking on them, sending them emails, phone calls when they're deployed, checking on family, doing all of that and more, giving them that support of knowing, look, you don't have to worry when you go serve our country. We want you to know that we have your back here. Don't let the back of your mind be gnawing at you and worrying, is my job getting done back home? No, they want you to go over there and do what you do and give it 110%, and just know City of Weatherford has your back. And so they want to say thank you for that level of support. And we're so glad you got to honor us with your presence today, Staff Sergeant Allen. It's an honor to see you on the screen. And with that, we're going to move into our next level award, and I believe Mr. Hotop is going to receive this award on behalf of the City of Weatherford, and this is our Above and Beyond, as I described to you earlier. Let you hold that. And this one, again, is the state level award, and it is our distinct honor and privilege to get to present to you, the City of Weatherford, the ESGR Pro Patria Award. And again, we would like for Mr. Hotop to come and accept that award on behalf of the City of Weatherford. And I don't know what I did with the folder for the statement of support. Did I hide that somewhere? No, that statement.
And Mayor, on
was
behalf
at
of
I think I lost
ESGR
it.
across this country, we
No,
want to thank
the statement of support.
the City of Weatherford for signing their statement of support to
is.
ESGR and our relationship, and being able to honor you and us collectively taking care of those men and women in uniform. Thank you very much.
And we're going to close this out real quick. And one last thing that has already been done, Mr. Hotop has so graciously signed what we call a statement of support. We would not be here tonight if all of you were not already doing what this says. And I'm going to read it so you understand what's happening. This gets to stay here. Pardon me? Right. So we're going to get to leave this here. It'll be posted. And I was telling him earlier that any military personnel that walks in and sees this will know they're walking into an environment who understands, who respects, honors, and supports. It's that same thing of walking into a company that flies the VPP flag of safety. Same thing. But I want to read you the bottom part of this is we join other employers in pledging that we fully recognize, honor, and comply with the Uniformed Services Employment Reemployment Rights Act, better known as USERRA. We will provide our managers and supervisors with the tools they need to effectively manage those employees who serve the Guard and Reserve. We appreciate the values, leadership, and unique skills service members bring to the workforce, and will encourage opportunities to employ Guardsmen, reservists, transitioning service members, and veterans. We will continually recognize and support our country's service members and their families in peace, in crisis, and in war. And City of Weatherford, you've done it all, and we say thank you. And thank you all.
So if I can just mention briefly, Mayor, appreciate y'all coming up and recognizing the organization, and humbly accept those awards on behalf of all of our folks that work here. Obviously, there's executive staff, first-line supervisors, second-line supervisors. All of them are critical of creating an environment that supports all those men and women when they are asked to do all those things and spend time away from their families and dedicate their service to this country. We recognize that. All the things we do couldn't be possible without all the efforts from those folks and all of our veterans that have served previously. So it's a humble honor to be able to accept this award, but it's on behalf of all of our employees here, and of course the City Council, which creates an environment which allows us to do these type of things. And really, all of it's done to be able to create the best community we can, right? And that's why everybody loves Weatherford so much. And so certainly appreciate and very humbled by the awards that the organization got.
And before you step away, I speak for every single person sitting here, but the awards are a great honor, but the right person received them. because we are ceremonial in nature, and we have run council meetings. Our CEO and the person that sets the culture in the community and that runs this organization on a day-to-day basis is James Hotop. And so thank you for setting the culture, and it's very clear in this culture. We appreciate you serving our country. We appreciate the ones that have served, and we will support you as you continue to serve. And as a council, we will tell you, the ones that are here or watching, we appreciate you. We really like it when you work here, and we encourage you to try and work here because this organization will support you as you continue to serve. Congratulations again, James Hotop. Council, at 6:30 p.m., we're going to take about a 3-minute break while they break down, and then we'll start our meeting again. We're on recess, 6:31 p.m. At 6:38 p.m., we're back in regular session. Let's see, we're going to shift down to item 6 on the agenda, which is approval of the minutes. 6A is consider approval of the minutes of the City Council meeting held June 23rd, 2026. Council, any discussion, conversations on this item? Get that one more time. Appears to be a motion for approval by Matt Tiskus. Second provided by Luke Williams. Any conversations on the item before we call for a vote? Let's vote on it. Please indicate yea or nay on your touch screens. And the minutes pass. Item 7 on the agenda is consent agenda items. Council, we have items 7A, B, and C. We can entertain those as a body or individually. If you'd like to, what is your pleasure this evening? Mayor Pro Tem, is your motion for the body, sir?
As a body.
All right, thank you for that clarification. Luke Williams? Second is for the body there. Any questions or conversations on any of those 3 items, though, before we call for a vote? All right, hearing none, let's vote on the consent agenda items as a body. Please indicate yea or nay on your touch screens. And those items pass. We'll shift down to item 8, which is regular agenda items. 8A is consider authorizing the city manager to execute a construction contract with DRI Construction for the Development Services and Parks Administrative Office renovation project via the Interlocal Purchasing System TIPS, contract number 230-10402, in the amount of $503,986 for a total aggregate fiscal year expenditure of $1,724,803. Jacob Kirkpatrick, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Jacob Kirkpatrick, Director of Parks, Recreation, Special Events, and Facility Maintenance.
Also known as the king of fireworks.
Oh. Hardly. Thank you. All right, I'm here tonight.
That need to be clarified.
I'm here, back on May 12th, council approved elements of architecture to move forward with the design of an expansion of our building. The item before you tonight will include building that expansion as well as other items that are now ready to be constructed. So the image that you'll see before you shows that expansion area that's going to be constructed. This phase of the project will include drying in the building, construction of that expansion, roofing, re-roof the whole entire building, sewer connections, rough-in plumbing, framing of the entire interior and the expansion, and then all new windows throughout the building. This aligns with our original plan to deliver key items during the design phase, which maximizes the use of downtime to complete the project as soon as possible. And if approved tonight, the next phase of construction will begin August 1st. Then I'll be back on August 25th with the final phase approval. That would include everything else needed to complete the construction. We are still on a January completion schedule, and then staff recommends approval of this item in the amount of $503,986 to begin the next phase of construction. And with that, I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Any question for the king of fireworks tonight, council? All right, thank you for your presentation, sir. Staff's recommending approval, council, of this. What's your pleasure on this item? Hit that one more time. Matt Tiskus, motion for approval is presented. Rod White, thank you for the second, sir. Any questions or conversations on the item before we call for a vote? Let's vote on 8A, council. Please indicate yea or nay on your touch screens when you have the opportunity. That item passes. We'll shift down to item 8B, which is consider adoption of ordinance 02026-24, adding chapter 16, precious metal and gem dealers, to title 5, business regulations of the official city code of the city of Weatherford, establishing permitting, registration, reporting, record keeping, and operational requirements for precious metal and gem dealers operating within the city of Weatherford. Chief Police Jason Hayes, welcome, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, the Police Department is requesting consideration of an ordinance establishing Chapter 16 of City Code related to precious metals and gems dealers operating within the city limits. The purpose of the ordinance is to close regulatory gaps that we have. Currently, businesses purchasing precious metals and gemstones within the city, they are able to do that through the occupations code, through the OCCC, and they're only regulated by the state. They're not currently regulated by the city. So what this means is precious and jewelries, By establishing reasonable local permitting, reporting, and record-keeping requirements, the ordinance will improve our ability to investigate property crimes, to recover stolen property, and to protect both legitimate businesses and our citizens. Jewelries and precious metals continue to be attractive targets to criminals because they are valuable, easy to conceal, and can quickly be converted into cash. According to the FBI, $1.4 billion in jewelry were stolen in 2024. Only 2% of that actually got recovered. So obviously that's a problem. So businesses that purchase these metals and these precious jewels, they are regulated by the Texas Office of Consumer Credit Commissioner. However, the state law does provide regulatory requirements, but they're very wide. So because of this, this becomes important to us. We want to control that through reporting standards that allow us to be similar to what we would have from pawn shops. And we're going to use the same electronic reporting system to accomplish this. This becomes particularly important when we have temporary buying events that are occurred here in like hotels and other areas. These businesses operate within town very quickly, and then they move out very quickly. And they make these purchases, and their delayed reporting time to us makes it difficult for us to track them down or get those things that we need, especially if we did have something stolen, trying to track a vendor down that's left town. So the ordinance is designed to address all these gaps. It requires both permanent dealers and temporary dealers at buying events to gain a city permit. Verify seller identification, electronically report all transactions, photograph purchases of property, and maintain transaction records. Most of our legitimate businesses within town, most of our storefronts and the people that work for the city, within the city of Weatherford, are doing that now. We're going to help them do that electronically through our assistance. I also want to emphasize what this ordinance is not. What it does not regulate is the licensing of pawn shops. Pawn shops that still buy goods and trades, gold and all of those things, they are regulated and they're governed under the Texas Pawn Shop Act. So we're not asking the pawn shops to do anything additionally from what they're already doing. They're already making those electronic report systems. The difference being now, they're doing that along with our precious gold and gem dealers. Again, the intent is not to burden legitimate businesses. In fact, many reputable businesses already follow these practices. The ordinance simply establishes a consistent standards to improve accountability while providing law enforcement with better tools and identity to recover stolen property. You'll have to excuse me, I did not bring my glasses up here, so that's why I'm having a little bit of trouble reading my own writing. You can't put this stuff in 12-point font, Mayor, and expect to read this. So
I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I'm a 24-point font guy.
But the truth is, for victims of theft cases, it's really often about much more than a financial value. Wedding rings, family heirlooms, collectible coins, military medals, and other keepsakes frequently carry sentimental value that you can't replace. And so once these items are melted down, altered, or leave the community, they're probably gone forever. And so we believe this ordinance represents a proactive approach to public safety. It balances legitimate commerce with reasonable accountability, strengthens our ability to investigate property crimes, and to protect the citizens of Weatherford. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Chief Hayes? We do have 2 speaker cards on the item. We'll hear those, but any questions for the Chief before we do that? Council, there was a lengthy question and answer supplement in your packet with lots of questions and answers. That's probably why you don't have them. So, Chief, we appreciate your presentation. Possibly there could be questions after we have our 2 speakers heard those. Thank you for that, sir.
Thank you.
Anna Lee Crum-Still. Anna Lee, saw you back there. Thanks for being here tonight. Hey, thanks for your patience with us, but we appreciate you enjoying the celebration like we did tonight. If we can, Anna Lee, just for the record, if we can have your name and address, and then you'll have 3 minutes.
Yes, sir. My name is Anna Lee Still Crum, and my address is 190 Granny B Road, Millsap, Texas. I live in the county. However, we do have Chiefs Trading Post here in. Can you hear me? Chiefs Trading Post here in the city. So we were informed that this ordinance was primarily for pop-up jewelry places that were coming in and selling jewelry really quickly, and that it was like in hotels and community centers and stuff like that. So I just wanted to have some clarification on if the ordinance is passed, is it affecting the brick and mortars that are in the city that already carry the OCCC and the standards that we have to do with them? And so we have standards with the OCC, and if another ordinance is passed and there's another permit that happens, is there a fee with all of that, which could cause some frustration for the small business owner, is another fee. I'm just curious if there is a way to pass a permit that it just affects the pop-up places that are coming in and not the brick and mortars that already carry the OCC. And so that really was just my question, if I could get some more clarification on that. So that was it.
We'll have the staff address that.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
your
much
time.
for
I
coming
appreciate
forward.
it.
Appreciate you being here. Mr. Whitehead, Bobby. Thank you for being here, sir. Good to see you. You look sharp tonight. If we could have your name and address for the record, sir, once you get settled.
This is a hard act to follow with all the awards that you guys got tonight.
You'll have 3 minutes once you get settled, Bobby.
My name is Bobby Whitehead. I live at 342 Andrews Court. I own the pawn shop on South Main Street, 1415 South Main Street. I don't have any reading issues today other than at our age. I got my eyes dilated today, so bear with me for that. I am addressing City Council as a second-generation pawnbroker. We're licensed in the city of Weatherford. This is our 25th year, by the way. As a licensed pawnbroker and owner of a brick-and-mortar pawn shop, we faithfully operate 7 days a week in compliance with city, county, state, and federal laws. Many in the city know me and my employees, not on the pop-up stuff that you see these criminals on. We're proud citizens of Weatherford and take pride in what we do. We're often misconceived about pawn shops, and most people have a perception about what goes on inside a pawn shop. Fact is, it's not what you think. Last year, with strong revenues and working weekly with Leads Online, which is, I believe, is what the chief is addressing as a Leads Online scenario, we had absolutely 0 police confiscations and 0 stolen property recovered. So a lot of that is at the counter. If you don't feel right about a transaction, we're well trained just to kind of, if it ain't right, we're backing out. So the year before, we had 2 items recovered, a ladder and a toolbox. So it's not exactly the perception of what pawn shops are. We comply with the law enforcement on city, state, and federal laws. We participate voluntarily with Leads Online to work with law enforcement. We're licensed and regulated by the Office of Consumer Credit Commissioner, or the OCCC as it's called here. All of my employees are licensed by the state of Texas and go through a background check. It's not required anymore, but I think it's the right thing to do. We pay our fees and we comply with local laws. Like you and me, you've been inundated. This is just in the last 3 or 4 weeks these things show up. Now, this is anything new with these motel buyers. Even the Adam Gold set up in the parking lot of the JCPenney parking lot in an RV. It just doesn't look that could be the best way to do it. Beyond consumer and operational concerns, these events create an uneven and unfair competitive environment. As licensed pawnbrokers and second-hand dealers, we're invested in our community through property taxes, local sales taxes, employing our citizens, and substantial regulatory requirements. Maybe these motel buyers or parking lot events are complying with all requirements, but I would challenge the reporting transaction. In business, a business that qualifies as a crafted metal dealer, I'm trying to go quickly, must be registered with the OCCC. The dealer must also have at least 1 permanent registered location in the state of Texas where that dealer conducts business of buying and selling precious metals for 1 year or more. So that's part of the problem, or part of the issue with OCCC. The OCCC registration applies to crafted precious metal dealers. Coins, bullion, and bars are generally excluded from crafted precious metals definition, but that distinction is relevant to companies such as traveling roadshows, is what we're talking about. They generally must comply with the same registration requirements and maintain a permanent Texas location. If a dealer operates out of a temporary location, those must also be listed. They cannot solely operate from out of state and have at least 1 permanent without having at least 1 permanent registered location.
Mr. Whitehead, I need you to wrap up.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just asking for the city to look at this in a favor. It may or may not be an unfair advantage for them, but it just has a lot of, if something is missing, and they, like the chief said, if they're trying to find it days later and they're already back in Delaware, it kind of makes it difficult.
Appreciate you being here, sir. Much respect.
Thank you.
All right, there's no other speaker cards on the item. Mr. Hotop, there was a question. Could you either address that or have Chief Hayes
Chief
come up, sir?
Clarify those.
It's a great question.
Sir. Reference to the question that was asked earlier. Yeah. So yes, those temporary dealers and both will have to have their licensing through the OCCC. But additionally, we will go ahead and ask our current brick and mortar dealers to get a permit every year, because we would like them to report electronically through the same process that What's good for one is going to be good for both. And what we want to do with that is we're going to work with our partners here locally to make sure that they get in leads online, which is where this information is stored. Over 70,000 investigators have access to that system, and 5,500 different agencies use it. So to our advantage, we want to be able to put our local dealers in line with that, just like the pawn shops are doing, so that they're in one place for our investigators. We're not having to go back and look at paper copies of transactions that they turn in. They're definitely in compliance, but it's one of those things where we're driving it to the same area so that it streamlines our investigations and it saves taxpayer dollars at the end of the day because it's faster for us. So, in working with them, we believe that certainly we'll be able to make sure that they don't want for anything from our side too. It's a partnership with us. That's really how we look at it.
So the question with respect to the fee for the local permit.
Yes, sir.
We're not adopting fees with the creation of this ordinance. That'll be done at a later date, and there's an opportunity to address that with possibly waiving the fees or crediting them based on property tax or something for local businesses. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That will be coming. Yes, sir.
The goal of this is to provide consistency and protection across the grid in the competitive marketplace and for the safety of goods that might be stolen. Certainly not to cause a barrier or a challenge to local businesses that exist through a heavy fee structure or something that is unreasonable. So again, like you said, that will come forward at a different day. It will be posted on our agenda publicly, and the public will have an opportunity to come in and give feedback on that fee structure at that time.
That's correct, sir.
Okay, great.
The intent's not to charge the existing brick and mortar businesses that already exist. This is really structured to address one of the primary concerns that seems to be coming through the mail.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, council, any questions or conversation on this item with Mr. Hayes or among ourselves? Staff is recommending approval. Council, you've had an opportunity to review it. What's your pleasure? Mayor Pro Tem? All right, motion by Mayor Pro Tem Zach Smith for approval is presented and read. Second provided by Matt Tiskus on 8B. Council, any questions or conversation on the item before we call for a vote?
Mayor, I would just like to thank our two speakers for coming and viewing their points today. Thank you all.
Absolutely. Both great businesses in our community. We're blessed to have both of you, so thank you so much. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a vote on 8B. This time, please indicate yea or nay on your touchscreens. And that item passes. Thank you for your input on that, council. Staff, thank you, and citizens, thank you. We'll shift down to 8C, discuss and consider nominees for the Texas Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool Board of Trustees. Mr. Hotop?
Yes, sir. So TML, which is often referred to, Texas Municipal League, which is often referred to TML, actually dates back to 1913, and it's an advocacy group specifically set up for cities, local governments. There's about 1,200 members total. Within the league, there's another group that exists. It's called the Intergovernmental Risk Pool, and it's actually set up to provide insurance and risk management services specific to cities and other local government entities. It was actually created from the legislature in 1973. And what it does is it obviously provides workers' comp insurance, property coverage insurance, liability, cyber liability insurance, and automobile coverage. And that's where we get all of our insurance coverage through. That group is managed by a 15-member board of directors, 12 of which are elected by a membership pool, and they serve staggered 6-year terms. So one of the things that we do is we're involved in a lot of different organizations across the city. Okay, now.
That's what happens when you win that many awards.
Yeah, so, okay, I won't go back, so. 15-member board of directors, 12 of those elected by the pool membership. We're obviously part of the pool because we get insurance coverage through them. They serve staggered 6-year terms. So there's nominations available for places 1 and 4. So we always challenge all of our employees, directors to be involved in organizations that we get the benefit from. And so this is one of those things that I'm asking for your nomination to run for their board of directors. So there's places 1 through 4 that are up for election. So I'd ask for your nomination to be a part of that for place 4. Specifically, the election and casting our votes would happen at a different date. This is strictly for nomination.
Any questions for Mr. Hotop on the item? All right. Mayor makes a motion to nominate City Manager James Hotop for place 4. Second provided by Matt Tiskus on the item. Any questions or conversation on 8, Charlie? Hearing none, let's vote on it. please indicate yea or nay on your touch screens for item 8C, and that passes unanimously. Congratulations, sir, and good luck.
Thanks.
Let's see here. Item 9 on the agenda, council's future agenda items. Mr. Totop, do you have anything, sir?
No, just to remind everybody, we will be starting the budget process soon. That'll officially start in August. So one of the most important things we do every year is adopting an annual budget and setting the tax rate. So,
City Council, future agenda items. All righty, we'll shift down to item 10, which is citizen comments on non-agenda items. Anybody here this evening that'd like to speak on any item that we've not covered in our regular agenda, now's your opportunity. Citizen comments on non-agenda items. Seeing no takers, Weatherford City Council stands adjourned at 6:58 p.m. Thank you all for your service.